Oh, are we live? Nah, figures. What's going on, Jeromes? We're back. Happy Wednesday. Daily Jeromes live stream. Doing an hour early because I'm actually getting the F out of Dodge, doing some fun things with the family this afternoon. So that's how you know that big news is going to break. Like the Vikings will sign Logan Ryan or Jadeveon Clowney. They'll extend Dalvin because whenever I get out of the office, Spielman knows. Spielman knows, and something big's going to happen this afternoon. I can already feel it, mark my words. Thank you very much for making us part of your day, coming on in. Sorry, just dicking around last 2 seconds, just finishing up a video here. Camp is going on. Cameron Dantzler picking up Kirk Cousins multiple times. Woo! Now, you could frame this thing a couple of ways. So, Cameron Dantzler shining early in camp, or is there something wrong with Kirk Cousins? Question mark. I always love the question mark one. And you'll notice that sometimes when we do the titles for our videos, it will be in the sarcastic manner of like, how Chiron's on ESPN First Take can be is like, is Patrick Mahomes in decline? Question mark. And then you have to sound like Scooby-Doo when you say it too. It's a good time. Thanks for coming along. It's it's already August 19th. Football is almost already here. Vikings have 2 padded practices under their belt, and good times are being had by all. Justin Jefferson's working with the ones. We just finished a video on that, uploading that currently. Been on a time crunch today, but yeah, it's good to be busy, right? All right, so the question we put out there, add-on question was, what Viking would you want to be your roommate? Now, training camp, I don't think that there's roommates going on because of COVID-19 and whatnot. But just hypothetically, if you did have a roommate, who would you want and why? I probably would have picked Michael Pierce, but Michael Pierce is basically my default answer for everything. But since he's not in camp anymore, yeah. Because I was going to be on Michael Pierce because I feel like he would have the most snacks. But which Viking would be most likely to try and sneak a lady in dressed as a player? I don't know if any current Vikings would. I feel like the locker room is pretty upstanding. So actually, you guys remember AC Leonard, who was a UDFA tight end, I believe out of like Middle Tennessee State or something. So AC Leonard was in Vikings camp back when they're still in Mankato, and he was. There we go. So like the one day that we changed things up, we were under massive technical difficulties. But yeah, apologies. Like my computer is running like 17 different programs right now, trying to render out the video as well as the podcast and whatnot. But there we go. So we're back. Let's see. Give a shout, Andy. You're on, baby. Hey, there's Preacher Paul. Holding it for all y'all. Yeah. So the new YouTube streaming software, and I know I've complained about it a bunch of times, but like it will tell you if your streaming quality, if people are lagging. So when that happens, I generally just pause until it comes back. I don't know. All right, so we are here. Oh, if you want to support the work, purplefdw.com/support. All of our great sponsors. Got on it. Get yourself in the game. Get yourself some new mood. Let's see what else. Oh, Alpha Brain, phenomenal every single day. Plus, save 10% off all supplements and food items, as well as lease a mattress. Save up to $150 off queen size mattresses, any size mattress you want. Right. purplefdw.com/support. As well as check out our Discord. I always enjoyed checking our Discord. Basically, if you like chatting during the live stream in the live chat, this is 24/7. So we have, man, what do we have? All right, so we have 84 people. We just started this thing Monday morning, so you'll enjoy it. You got Charlie Boltman over there. You got Landon Miller over there. Preacher Paul Holland, for all that, you would enjoy it greatly. You would be a rock star over there. So download the app and get that over at Discord. All right, so the question that we had, the add-on question, which Viking would be the best training camp roommate? And initially it was going to be Michael Pierce. Man, I don't know. I guess Abdullah or Kendricks, because I feel like they'd be really interesting, just like talk to and chat when people can't sleep. When I'm sweating about making this roster, it's like I can beat out Dalvin. I know I can, because I assume I'd be a running back. All right, so Amit Hakan Kauskan. Can Hunter be the new defensive leader, or will Kendricks take over? Skull from Dubai. Hunter absolutely can. And Andre Patterson has talked about Hunter's prowess this year, but I mean, Kendricks is that natural leader. I think that if you look at what he's done on and off the field, I think he is a natural leader of men. I think Barr's more chill. He certainly got that captaincy, more out of a. And Zimmer's just like, whatever. But Kendricks being the man in the middle, I think that he is the true leader on that defense, and I think that he will be recognized this year. Shout out to David Lavin, brand new monthly Jerome. What is up? Get himself that purple check mark. What up? Next up is Nick Doroff. Kirk Cousins, because his mom probably loaded him up with snacks. Kirk Cousins probably likes a Dunkaroo. You guys remember Dunkaroos? Yeah, Dunkaroos are good. Dunkaroos up in this B. This is during a time where like Australian, quote unquote culture was really big in America. Because do you remember like Foster's beer? Foster's Australian for beer, where it's basically like their bottom barrel, bottom level beer. It's just marketed to stupid Americans. But like Dunkaroos. Like Ruse athletic shoes. I think Walter Payton wore those. Crocodile Dundee was really big too. Kangol hats. Yeah, Australia was like mini taking over the United States for a while though. Yeah, but Dunkaroos were the shit, man. They were good. Or Fruit by the Foot, as well as I feel like Kirk would be loaded up on all like the empty sugary carb snacks. Actually, no. Kirk's mom probably packs him like dried figs, like dried plums. Make sure that you're regular, Kirk. Happy birthday, by the way. Happy 32nd birthday. Man, Kirk Cousins is sneaky old, man. I feel like that we get into this rhythm of just being aware of these quarterbacks for so long and just like, yeah, this guy, yes. And, I keep saying that I still can't believe that Matt Ryan is 35 just because he's been like, how old is Russell Wilson? Like, would you say that Russell Wilson's 31? Yeah, Russell Wilson's gonna be 32 in November. Shit. I mean, come on. It's a good thing the quarterbacks will play until 40 now, because I don't know about some of these young quarterbacks. Like, besides Mahomes, Watson, I don't know if Jackson's style will hold up like a decade plus. But who else is there? I mean, like, who else? Like Joey Burrow, Justin Herbert, Tua, sure, maybe. Josh Allen. I don't know how it happened, but we're now just like sworn enemies with Bills fans. Like, for some reason, Bills Mafia got all up on us. It's probably because we're whining about Stephon Diggs, and we recognize that we are whining, but also it's good for traffic because people like people whining. about Stephon Diggs specifically. So I don't know. Out of all the Minnesota Vikings players seen over the year, who is the best pure athlete? So the easy answer is Adrian. The easy answer is Randy Moss. But I'm going to throw a screwball at you. Brian Robinson. Brian Big Fishin' Robinson. Because look at this. Brian Robinson. Be ready to be no, not Robinson. Robinson. There we go. I mean, just look at this. Look at this absolute nutsness. So 6'3", 259. Now he went. He fell to the fourth round because it's like, well, is he going to be a linebacker? Is he going to be a defensive end? He's mainly a linebacker at Texas. But 4'6'7", 40.5-inch vert. Like that's NBA two guard type level vertical leap. He's doing this at 259 pounds. Broad jump of 10 feet 1 inch, 4.6 short shuttle, and as well as 27 on the bench. So this is a freakish athlete. He really is. Like it is up there with like the Jerick McKinnons of the world. But Jerick, do they have Joe Webb on here? No, that sucks. Let's see, Joe Webb Pro Day. 42.5-inch vert. That's crazy. Yeah, but Brian Robinson's sneaky maybe up there. But of course, yeah, I could say Randy Moss. I mean, I was trying to think stylistically if there has, since Randy Moss, if there has been, that pure running nines, uncoverable, world-class speed, contested catch guru. I can't think of it. Like, yeah, you could say Megatron, except Megatron was a little bit more physical, certainly not as fast. Julio is more of a freight train, especially coming over the middle. He's not really that major deep threat. Definitely not a red zone threat. If you play fantasy football, you'll certainly know. Except maybe AJ Green, but it's tough. Next up. Kyle Rippentrop, Adam Thielen. He seems like he could party, but isn't up all night. Is Chase Vinatieri going to get a shot in the NFL? I'm guessing that Chase Vinatieri might be Adam's son. All right, so South Dakota State kicker, just like, what is his uncle? Chase Vinatieri and nephew. There you go. Like, you could have told me that Chase Vinatieri was Adam's son. I would have believed you. I mean, it's possible. I'm not really too familiar with his kicking prowess since kicker wasn't really a priority in the draft this year. But I'm sure that he will cycle through, probably get a tryout somewhere just because of the name value. Hell. Charlie Boltman. Let's do a little over-under. Week 4, Ezra Cleveland starting either at left tackle or left guard. So over would be after. Under would be before. Well, let's just do before and after. I will bet Ezra is starting after week 4. I think that they'll give it at least a month with Dozier and or Aviante Collins. Week 8, Kyle Hinton makes a start at either guard spot. I will take the after. I think Hinton obviously has a lot of talent. I think it's going to be a tough nut to crack getting in that starting lineup. But, man, I want to see Kyle Hinton in a couple years, man. I really do. Chase Ngelke. Definitely Britton Skolkway. He's a funny dude. Yeah, they just did, I think Craig Peters, who's a great writer on the Viking staff, they just did a write-up about Britton Skolkwit's like muscle shirts and how I like the team's adopting them. Let's see. Yeah, because muscle shirt, you look at like the dental floss thin shirts that you see dudes at like Venice Beach or like Lifetime Fitness rocking sometimes. There you go. All right, so that's Colquitt. Looks like Anthony Harris. I believe that's Brian O'Neill, and that's probably Bradbury, right? There you go. Yeah. And also, like, Colquitt's jacked, especially for an older dude, especially for a punter. Like, people don't realize, like, punters would be like, punters are just like kickers. They're not really athletes. They're basically just like soccer players, the guys who couldn't cut it in the Premier League of communist kickball, so they kicked the egg for a while. It's like, no, punters are legit athletes. Steve Weatherford punted for the Giants for a number of years. I think he might have won a Super Bowl ring with them, but I mean, dude is freaking jacked. Like, are you kidding me? Well, maybe Vikings fans, we just got jaded because like Chris Cluey has the muscle definition of like like me when I was 8. But yeah, he's jacked. Shane Leckler, jacked. Ray Guy, probably jacked. Yeah. Next up is Zach Ballas. Eric. Oh yeah, Skullquit. Even though Skullquit's jack, I bet you he will throw down on like a 6er of Youngling, just parkour. Zach Ballas, Eric Kendricks, because he will bring that 64. That's right. Yeah. So Kendricks, Wilson, and Hunter just staying up all night playing GoldenEye. We got walkthroughs in the morning. I'm a starter. Who cares? Charlie Boltman. More important on-field line of communication this season: Kendricks and Jaleel, Kendricks and Harrison, Harris, Harrison Hughes, Thielen and Cousins, Bradbury, other combo now listed. I think at the start of the season, Harrison and Harris, especially just lording over that very young cornerback room. I didn't know this, but the oldest cornerback on the Vikings roster right now is only 23, and it might be Jeff Gladney. Actually, let's investigate. So Gladney was born in December or November. Holton Hill, and I know he's 62 days older than Mike Hughes. Don't ask me how I know that. So Holton Hill is 23. Yeah, he just turned 23. Yeah, so the oldest cornerback on the Vikings roster right now is Jeff Gladney. How crazy is that? That's crazy, man. Wow. All right. That's right? And matters. 23. He just turned 23 in February. Okay. Chris Boyd. No, not that one. Oh, 36-year-old striker. Nah. So Chris Boyd turns 24 in September. Never mind, he's the oldest one. Gah. That was so cool for a hot second. Cut Chris Boyd. Nah. Next up is a Viking Jerome, the kicker, because he's smart and won't take up space. I feel like Dan Bailey's golf clubs will take up a lot of space, though. But Dan Bailey's a good golfer. Yeah. Hey, Jerome's, let us know where you're watching from. Hour early. Apologies, but if you didn't hear, we're getting the F out of Dodge. We're doing something fun this afternoon. So that means that the Vikings will sign someone, almost guaranteed. Or Dalvin extension will be announced. Because whenever I get out and do something fun away from computer, that's when Spielman's like, do it now. Do it now. I better look. Brashad Breland, 4-game suspension. Trade him Chris Boyd so that Gladney can be the oldest, and it'd be funny to me. Miles Sanders listed week to week with lower body injury. Yeah, that's the funny thing about training camp. So you don't have to provide an injury report. So it's always, you go back to like the hockey injury report. Well, he's got upper body, lower body injury. I like Miles Sanders, though. I liked him coming out of Penn State as a replacement for Saquon. Just Eagles didn't really give him the time of day last year. Next up is Landon Miller. I think C.J. Ham would be the best training camp roommate because he's small and chill. Like he's small, like height-wise. Like he's pretty thick. Like he's 235, I believe. Any thoughts on Liam Eichenberg out of Notre Dame? I think he's a perfect replacement for Reef. I'm vaguely familiar with him. I haven't done enough research to have an educated opinion on him at this point. I've basically hit the highlights of the. All right, so Penny Sewell, the little guy from Stanford, which is ironic because he's huge. Preach Paul, Hollander for all y'all. For me, it would be Cousins. I'm type A stickler for details, and don't roll 4,000 miles a week without paying attention to every little detail. So I think Cousins appears to be that way. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, Cousins. I bet your Cousins like OCD. I bet your Cousins like lines up all of his peas in a line before he eats them. Stanley Morris. If Zimmer, Cousins, Harrison, Hunter, and Pierce were all hanky-panky positions, which ones would they be? Oh, no. Pass. Billy Long. I'd have to say Harry. I did think about hanky panky. Like, who calls a hanky panky? It's like calling it knocking boots. People still do that, or was that lost in the '80s? I'd have to say Harry. He seems reserved and probably likes to keep to himself. Harry is definitely reserved, but also Harry knows how to win the day. So actually, Harrison would be a pretty good pick. Especially, yeah, Charlie Boltman. He picked Jake Browning. He was a Folsom, California guy, and I forgot to invite on the Vegas trip. Is there a timetable for when the next round of major roster cuts happen? The only list NFL has third. Patriots cut Nick Coe for show, and Steelers cut Josh Coatney. What do you think about those guys? I like Coe in the draft process. I wonder what happened with him with the Patriots. It could be worth buzzing the tower. Coatney, I'm not extremely familiar with, so I don't really have an opinion. I don't think that there is a timetable for cut downs, because I think this is just like, so a couple years ago, they got rid of the 75-man cuts, which were really stupid, by the way. So it went from 90-man to 75 after the third preseason game, because it was stupid in the fact that you're going to rest your starters the fourth preseason game. So a lot of the guys that you're cutting from the roster would have played in the fourth preseason game anyway. It was just really counterintuitive, so that's why they got rid of it. So I mean, teams could cut down to 53 now. That'd be stupid. But a lot of them will just do it a couple days before the deadline or the day of the deadline. It's usually the last Saturday before kickoff, which would be what? All right, so kickoff is September 10th, I believe. That's a Thursday. Yeah, so September 5th, Saturday, be final cutdowns. Next up, Stanley Morris. How many rooks do you truly envision starting at some point during the season total? All right, so this season. All right, so Jefferson Gladney, sort of de facto starters. Jefferson Gladney. Ezra eventually starts, so that's 3. Dancer, obviously. I think that might be it, because I think Lynch and Wanham may rotate in, but won't start. Same thing with Troy Dye. Troy Dye will play a lot of special teams. I don't think Harrison Hand starts. I don't think Brandel starts. Yeah, I think that might be it. 4. Eric Nelson. Been away for a while. Good to be back. How you been, Andy? I've been phenomenal. It's good to have you back. Kyle Rudolph. Good dude. Except I feel like kind of boring. But I guess that's okay for like a roommate. Just boring. Do you think they'll get through the entire season without any missed time? Do you think the season will end the Super Bowl beginning in February? Yeah, I think the NFL has done a good job. They're setting up quasi bubbles for each camp. Travel will put in another variable in there, of course, but the way that they've handled it so far, frankly, I think it's as good as any other league. The NBA got it right with the bubble, but I mean, bubble's not feasible with this size roster. So, yeah, I think the NFL season will go down. I don't think there will be any stoppages. I think everyone's been smart. I think everyone's been mature about it. And, yeah, I don't think there will be any stoppages. I think Super Bowl will be on February 3rd. It is February 3rd this year, right? Let's look. No, I lied. February 7th? Man, I was way off. Was it February 3rd last year? Man, I've been lying. Stanley Morris, who wins in a fight? Guy Fieri or Emeril Lagasse? I'd say Emeril, because I feel like Guy is definitely soft. Emeril, I feel like you can tell Emeril, beyond the TV persona, like the bam, right? So Emeril grew up in Providence, and it can be a tough area, right? So I think that Emeril has definitely had a scrape or two in his life. Maybe he's connected. Maybe he's a made man. I don't know. Certainly possible. Wait, is it slander or is it libel when you say it? They're just saying that Emeril Lagasse might have connections to organized crime. I don't know. So, but Guy, I feel like Guy Fieri is definitely soft. I don't think that guy's ever been a scrape in his life. I mean, both have great jobs. Like Emeril Live, I remember watching Emeril Live as a kid, and that actually one of the reasons that got me into cooking is just watching Food Network a lot. Then also Emeril, when he's been on Top Chef, has been great. Guy Fieri, diners, drive-ins, and dives, just hilarious. It's funny. Yeah. Next up, Pulford Skull. Irv Smith is out there making the plays. Getting a lot of touches. I think Irv will be worth drafting in fantasy this year, or only when Rudy is done. I think it makes a lot of sense. Certainly in like a keeper league, because past the big tight end names of Ertz and Kelsey and Kittle, maybe even throw Mark Andrews in there. It gets pretty thin. Like Gronk, maybe. But yeah, I think Irv, especially if it's a PPR, is going to get plenty of work. So yeah, pick him up. Stanley Morris. Which Viking would be most likely to get frosted tip highlights in this here? I'm talking JT Insync frosted tips. You can say maybe Cameron Smith, California guy. Oh, Jake Browning. Jake Browning's California. Oh, except he's Northern California. Let's think. Maybe like Skullquit as a goof would be funny. No. A couple shout outs. Landon Miller, Skull from New Jersey. What is up? Landon's a moderator over on the Discord. Go check that out. Then you can have your comments deleted by him. Zach Ball, Skull from Northern Colorado. What did Cousins get for his birthday? A bunch of Pizza Ranch gift certificates. Not even gift cards, certificates. Preacher Paul, hauling it for all y'all. He's in Butte, Montana. Gorgeous. Jerome Shalom, Detroit Lakes. Holla back. Purple Rain, Quarantine, Wisconsin. Oh, you got the Rona? That happens. Sean Sebastian, Shakopee, Southwest Burbs representing. All right, yep. Thanks for coming along on the live stream. I know it's an hour early, but life happens sometimes. Pulford Skull. Holland's and Dantzler battle was legit. Holland's looking good, and Dantzler is going to be a week 1 starter. Says a bag of peanut butter M&Ms. Yeah, I think Dantzler is going to start. I think Hefe's going to be stuck behind the 8 ball a little bit. Yeah, I think it's going to be Dantzler and Hughes to start. And also Alexander Hollins. It's going to be tough for him to make the roster unless the Vikings carry 6 wide receivers, which I don't see. But I do think that BB makes a roster over Tajay Sharp. Tajay's been a little bit disappointing so far. But Hollins has been looking good yet. Pulford Skull. Who do you think gets the 4 wide receiver spot? I haven't seen any highlights of Sharp yet. Just don't trust BB's durability. I got Thielen, Jefferson, BC, and Sharp. I want to see. I think the top 4 will be Thielen, Jefferson, BC, BB, and then KJ Osborne. I think those are the 5 that make the roster. Next up is Armin13. Still waiting for the Numerology podcast. So we're into like jersey numbers and stuff, and we've joked throughout the years, mainly on the audio podcast, that eventually we're going to start a numerology podcast to be like, ooh, so this guy, he's got this number, and he's got, so like when Dalvin came into the league and he picked 33, first off, 33 is a dumb number for a running back, but so he wore 4 at Florida State. He wore 4 in high school. So we're thinking, oh, the numbers are available. 44. Matt Asiata, that looked good. 24 was available at that time after Captain Munderland left. So like, this makes sense. And then he picked 33. And it's just like, what the shit? Right? I mean, I guess he could have gone 34, but then that's shades of Herschel Walker. But yeah, I think too much about jersey numbers. Oakview. Eric Kendricks for sure. Also, I know this isn't Timberwolves channel, but I can't help get myself excited that KG could bring Minneapolis into a basketball city. Yeah, I mean, if he's part of the ownership group that buys the Wolves, that'd be great. Also, speaking of the Wolves, so the form guy used to do media for the Wolves, John Fockey. He's the play-by-play guy for the Hornets now. So he accidentally let's pull it up because he had a little bit of a typo snafu. All right, so Fockey tweeted something about the Denver Nuggets game, and he accidentally tweeted the N-word. So people, of course, raking him over the coals. But also, if you look at the keyboard, so you look at the keyboard on your phone too. So if you were, so Nuggets, if you're typing that, and the U for Nuggets is really close to I, as well as the T in Nuggets is really close to R. So, I mean, if you fat thumb the thing, I mean, especially if you have like a smaller iPhone, it's really easy if you're trying to type nuggets really fast and accidentally, you know, where I mean, what would be the upside of this? Like, what would be the upside of him tweeting that out? Be like, this is really going to help my career. Or I think he's suspended indefinitely right now, so he actually could lose his job. But people have been saying, well, it doesn't autocorrect to slurs, so obviously he types it enough in his phone that it learned it. That's not necessarily true. I mean, this honestly, I believe it probably is just an honest mistake, which just sucks, man. Like, how many times do you think this has happened to like Nuggets fans before? Yeah, they just fat thumb it. Yeah. Silence, $3 in the super chat. 2020 Vikes will pass more than people think. Certainly possible. A lot of play action. Stephon Diggs is gone, but Justin Jefferson is here to stay. Ready to rock and roll. Is that you, Rona? Zach Ballas. You work for Michael Scott. What are you winning a Dundee for? Fastest talker. I don't know, like when I get going on a subject, sometimes it just like rolls. Or and the most minutes on YouTube. Could be something lame. See, what would Michael latch on to? I don't know. Big Grover, Compton, California. What is up? Purple Rain. He had exposure. Like Corona just came up in a trench coat, exposed himself to him. Remember that used to be a thing? Like flashers? I feel like that's not a thing anymore. I feel like that was a thing like the late 80s and the 90s. Nah. Anyways, Stanley Morris, best roommate would be 2 or 3 of the cheerleaders. Double J57. Will Mayor Frey go for a 25% seating capacity at US Bank Stadium to open the season, or is KC allowed because Arrowhead's open air? Thielen for roommate for the trash talking and ripping on each other all night. That'd be fun. But so Kansas City is allowing 22% capacity for Arrowhead. I do think that open air as well as warmer cities are going to have an advantage here. But I mean, Minnesota, they have a great ventilation system. You can open the doors. You can do all that. And frankly, I mean, hell, if Frey says, hey, you can't allow anyone in, be like, hey, hold our beers. Be like, what are you going to do about it? Like, we're literally the only business in Minneapolis that can't move. So, yeah, you're going to need us here, man. Look, besides, it's so stupid because there's going to be thousands of people on the lawn at Commons Park right across the street, just not socially distanced, just gathering, drinking Miller Lights. Like it's so stupid. Luke K. I would say dark horse would be Kirk Cousins. Hear me out. His side will always be clean. He will be respectful. He will go out of his way if you ask for a glass of water while you're in bed and don't want to go out. And he will read you a bedtime story. Actually, Kirk Cousins reading a bedtime story would be super creepy. Just be uber creepy. Zach Ballas. Because, yeah, he would do the voices of the various characters, just get really into it. Except all of his voices sound the same. Grandmother, why are your teeth so long? All the better to eat you with, dear. Zach Ballas. What age were you when you got your first cell phone? 13, maybe? Because I remember it's like the Nokia brick. Let's see, Nokia. Except it wasn't like the brick phone. Yeah, it was one of those. Actually, I think it may be this one exactly, the 3310. Because I remember that because it was like, oh, we could be so cool because we can buy custom covers for the phone, because that was back when you could take apart your phone without like miniature Allen wrenches and stuff. You could just pop it open. It was great. Because I'm pretty sure I had like a yellow. I didn't have a sports one because those were actually kind of rare back then. Luke K. Is there going to be a Jerome Fantasy League this year? Sure, someone set one up. Luke K. Andy, I have an apartment to myself tonight. What should I cook for dinner? Meat. Something. Just find some fatty cut of meat. Just like, you know what my favorite cuts of beef is? Just like chuck. right? Like chuck roast, where everyone talks about filet. Everyone talks about ribeye, even though ribeye's really good. Don't get me wrong. Or I don't know. Just if you're gonna, I've sort of gotten away from steak. Well, shouldn't say that. But I definitely grown an appreciation more for roasts. So just get a chuck roast and sear it up, put it in the crock pot, and then just after a couple hours later, just like eat it without your shirt on. Just let the juices flow. It's like big fatty hunk of meat. Just get it. Or tacos. I don't know. Jerome Jerome. I think CJ Ham will be the best roommate. And do you think Tajay Sharp doesn't step up? We trade him to the Packers for a late round pick. Probably not trade him. Probably just cut him. Then maybe the Packers pick him up. Irv Smith. Let's see here. 2 more to go. Armand 13. I think Irv Smith is a great roommate. I don't know. I feel like Irv would talk a lot. I feel like Irv's a bit of a talker. Zach Ballas, you walk to a PE class and the teacher gives you a choice of dodgeball or kickball. What are you voting for? Kickball. Because I feel like dodgeball, there's definitely a hierarchy of quality of dodgeball players. Now, I disagree with it being removed from school, but if you want a game that everyone can do pretty well in, kickball is great. Or like big base. So big base is basically kickball, except, well, all right, it is kickball. But instead of bases, you use like hula hoops or something of that effect. But yeah, I remember like playing kickball, playing big base. Like those are the best Phi Ed days. Those are great. I actually don't even remember if we played a lot of dodgeball. Maybe that was starting to phase out then, but because dodgeball, a bunch of kids are just gonna get tagged out right away, and then they don't get to play, and it's kind of lame. But I mean, kickball, everyone gets to kick, everyone gets to bat, everyone's playing in the field. It's more inclusive. It's actually just a better sport. So there you go. All right, Jeromes, that is it. I'm getting the F Dodge. We're taking the family to an undisclosed location for the day. It's going to be a lot of fun. And since it's going to be a lot of fun, that means that big Vikings news is going to break this afternoon. So you're welcome. Dalvin extended. I know Vikings trade for Logan, or they signed Logan Ryan. They trade for, I don't know, Michael Brockers. Something stupid will happen. But thank you very much for coming along. Join the Discord. Link is in the top left corner of the screen. As well as if you want to support the work, purpleftw.com/support. Hit that up. We'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time, normal time. We'll do that. Skull, production value.